Yo, 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 yo. What up? What up? Another week, another episode. The NFC Beast. This is your boy, Cool McCain. And joining me on this episode, you see right beside me, Mr. I'm surprised he ain't got first place beside his name. But y'all know how he be doing. Couch coach in the building. What up, couch coach?
What's going on? I forgot to change it, obviously, but my awareness is zero tonight. So yeah, that's why I didn't change the first place. But we here.
I was talking to him backstage, y'all, so he would forget to change it.
Right.
And also joining us is our number one Giants fan, right? Or defamer, whatever however you want to say it. Our guy Scrub Zero. What up, Scrub?
What up? Basketball back. I know we talking football, but got something else to look forward to at least.
Well, I mean, I've been watching Dub the whole summer anyway, so it ain't never leave for me. You know what I'm saying? Just switch from the women to the men. But hey, y'all know what we here to talk about. It's the NFC Beast, and we here to talk about the best division in football. I don't care about records. You want to know why we're the best division in football? That's a great question. I got a really solid and reasonable answer for you. What other division does every team have a Super Bowl? You can't name one. So until y'all can get like us, you can't be with us. The Beast is always on top. You don't like it? Not our problem. So, that being said, got to slide back in time to week 8. Talk games that happened to occur on said date. So, what I like to do is use the NFL.com and just go by how they have them on there, right? So, it's no personal things. No, I want this team to be first on the team. Just keep it simple. Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. So, according to that, the first game amongst teams from the NFC Beast is the 5-2 Eagles against the 3-5 Bengals. And of course, I say 5-2 because I'm talking about the score after the game because you already know what happened. We all watched it. I'm going to go first. I'm going to keep it simple. I am. Philadelphia Eagles went out and finally played a more complete game against a team that a lot of people feel like is a good team. Maybe they don't have as many wins as people expect them to have, but this is a team that always seems to come on. So they didn't come on against the Eagles because we was like, nah. Quinyon Mitchell, great game. I've talked about this for 2 days straight. This 3 days straight. I've been talking about this wonderful team. You know what I'm saying? Besides that, Cooper DeJean, great plays. Big stop on Jamar Chase on what was a silly screen call, but could have worked. It just didn't work, right? Offense, great. Another turnover-free game for Mr. Jalen Hurts. Everybody want to talk about the turnovers. Can we stop talking about it now? 3 straight games, no turnovers. Everybody else is rocking. Everybody else is getting more turnovers, but not Jalen Hurts. Jalen Alexander Hurts doing the thing. Saquon Barkley, another game over 100. We know what Saquon is. Excuse me. In the passing game this week, though, it wasn't A.J. Brown that was the big dog. It was Devontae Smith. Smitty had over 100. He had one of them nice long plays, those big vertical plays that we love to call. He's the one that scored on one of them. So a switch up a little bit on that end, but still the right formula. I feel like also play calling for the Eagles has gotten a lot better. It's looking more like a Kellen Moore system and less like a Nick Sirianni with aspects of Kellen Moore. And historically, his first year here, Shane Steichen, he officially took over play calling duties around week 8. So it's looking like maybe the same thing happened with Kellen Moore, and now he's getting an opportunity to kind of implement the kind of system that he wants. And with all the weapons he got available to him, Calcaterra had some good catches. A lot of people on the defense, Nolan Smith, sacks for I think the 3rd or 4th straight game. A lot of guys just getting it done. Nakobe Dean with a good game. A lot of players. So team effort. Philadelphia Eagles went out and did what they were supposed to do and started showing teams, man, don't play with us. Stop playing when you mention our name. And that's what you got to do. And all you can do is who you play against. So people want to talk about this team or that team. It don't matter. All you got is who you play against, and we've been making it happen when people step up. Only 2 teams beat us, and one of them shouldn't even really be a loss. But you get those when you don't do what you're supposed to do. Couch coach, we'll go with you next, sir.
And it's something that we kind of talked about before we went on air, like an off air type situation. Yeah, Philly, they did what they were supposed to, and this is one, like you said, cool, where a lot of people think this is kind of Cincinnati, maybe potentially kind of digging themselves back out of their hole. But the Philly came out and they dominated this game from the start, and I think we talked about it earlier where they're flying, pun intended, eagle fly. So they fly under the radar, in my personal opinion. So I just look at it from the standpoint of they're another team that 5-2, where a lot of people aren't really talking about Philly. I think they finally now kind of found their groove. Obviously they were like there's been ebb and flows with the Eagles this year in wins and losses. This is kind of one of those where things starting to finally come together, and this is the time of year that you want things like this to kind of happen, where you have a situation like you said, a lot of people, that's everything. When you have those type of wins, especially a win on the road like that, and to win by 20 points, that's a great feat. And I think that's where I think people, and you're in a great position where like a lot of people are sleeping on this Philadelphia Eagles team, and they're another team that's 3 straight wins. They're getting together at the right time. So I mean, they're in the perfect spot at this point, as we're sitting almost halfway through the season.
Scrub, any thoughts?
Yeah, the Bengals are fool's gold. I've seen it from the start of the season. I've seen it throughout the season, and they proved it once again. They cannot be good teams. The only wins they have this season is against the Panthers, who has made very clear is the worst team in the NFL. The Giants, who would probably be the worst team in the NFL if the Panthers didn't exist with how they've been playing. And the Browns, where if they had their quarterback situation sorted out, because even with Deshaun Watson got hurt, Jameis did his thing, but he had to be in between with DTR. They could probably would have lost that game too. Bengals are not a good team. Eagles did what they were supposed to. It was a slow start defensively, but after the Bengals scored and got it 17 all, they ain't do nothing else. It was game over from there. They ain't moved the ball down the field. They ain't make any big plays. And the Eagles, they finally found their rhythm. They got Jalen Hurts is playing not only efficient but good football. Saquon Barkley, come on, we know. This is why the team in New York should have held on to him, but that's a different discussion for a different day. And Cal Katera, man, you've been saying it, cool. That boy, I realized how good this kid was. I'm like, okay, now the Eagles got something. And Nick Sirianni is, at least for the time being, he seems to be out of the way. So, and with 3 straight wins, Eagles are getting to where they want to get to. And honestly, the Eagles there's a few teams that work better when teams ain't really or looking over them. The Eagles are one of them teams. So this worked out for them. And we'll see what they do on Sunday, but it's a good team win. That's really all I got to say about that.
Y'all like it? I love it. Because it was the Eagles. But yeah, happy about that, man. Next game, 4-3 Bears. We're at the 6-2 Commanders. Couch coach, you want to go first or last? Your team, your call.
I go first. Man, what a birthday gift that the Commanders gave me on Sunday. This is kind of just one of those games where it just really feel like this team is special. I think, when I looked at this in the beginning, it looked very daunting. Obviously, we jumped up to a 9-0 lead, and essentially in those 3 possessions, we were in the red zone and weren't able to convert. So it literally, in theory, if we would have converted on those 3 possessions, it would have been 21-0. We wouldn't even have to worry about the Hail Mary that I'll be talking about momentarily. So you look at kind of those things, and obviously you can kind of tell that the ribs was still affecting Jay Daniels. Obviously, a few passes was kind of off and didn't have the mustard like he had in previous weeks and what have you. But it's just one of those things where good teams find ways to win football games. I think that's something where it sounds weird to say that, and in the same breath as talking about the Washington Commanders. I know especially since we've done this show, Washington have found ways to conceivably win football, to lose football games in crazy ways. So, and I think, and obviously it came down to that Hail Mary play, and that just shows you that they took that Hail Mary situation serious. And I think to have that set in a position, obviously the play before the Hail Mary, giving Terry that play on the out really helped. And I know Tony Romo kind of predicted that and kind of put that into into motion. So you just think to yourself, this is just one of those wins where you snuck one, and I think nothing's wrong with that. Like you said, a win is a win regardless of how you get it. And this is just you're gonna have games like this where, hey, this is as we look at this 2024 team, this could be a game to say, damn, we really should have lost this game. And even to the point earlier where this game shouldn't even have been this close if we would have executed on those red zone drives. So and I think that's going to be kind of one of the things where I think there is that celebration. But I guarantee you, Dan Quinn discussed this as this week progressed. So hell of a play, a very memorable moment in Washington Commanders history. It was euphoric. It was a great feeling, and I'm still like in awe of it, like as far as how the play was executed and how we was able to win this football game. But but a very great birthday gift that the Commanders gave me on Sunday, for sure. Are you muted?
Oh, Scrub, go ahead, go, and I'll finish things off with this. My bad.
Gotcha. The one thing that did worry me with this game with Commanders is once again the red zone. That was not pretty. It was another tough game there. Some of the big plays y'all had got taken back from penalty. That's been another concern. But for all of the mistakes that were made, y'all made it happen when you need to make it happen on that last drive. Game winning time, you got the quarterback for it. He made some plays. Defense, I thought, played well till late in the game. They started giving it up. I mean, I don't really know what to say because the Bears, I know their defense is good. Though healthy Jaden Daniels, I probably would have been a runaway. As for the their offense or your defense, the Bears struggled offensively. So I mean, listen, you only play who you can play. Y'all doing a good job. It's still a lot of season left, a lot of football. We'll see what happens when we get to some of the better. I thought this was a game y'all could have lost, and you could certainly make an argument it should have been. But this was a quality win. For as ugly as it looked, it was certainly a quality win. This is something that Washington needed. Jane Daniels showed that he's a magic maker. He can make magic in big moments. And, we're going to see where it leads the rest of the year. But I do think this is certainly a playoff team because right now, I don't see a glaring team weakness, just the little details that need working out. But good team win. And, it's still F Washington because y'all are part of the division, but I'll give y'all props. Y'all did a good job.
Yeah, man. The only things I'll add is real simple. Love the Hail Mary. I love to say, you know what? We're going to do it. Jaden Daniels danced around, kept it alive, and made the right play at the right time. And Chicago Bears defender, instead of jaw jacking with the fans, you should have been doing your job. Not saying they wouldn't have caught it, but you look real dumb for what you did. But at the same time, man, the Chicago Bears, just like the Commanders, had no one to blame but themselves for losing that game. Both had opportunities. They both did not capitalize on them fully. But the Commanders capitalized when it mattered. And that's what good teams do, right? You have games where it's like you really should have lost that game, but you find a way to win it. Whether it's a Hail Mary, whether it's a bad call, whether it's a breakaway run, whether it's, you're doing a little throw around and it works, whatever. The little laterals and everything. Sometimes you just make good plays. That's what good teams do. And Commanders are definitely a good team. And if y'all remember, someone since week 1 has been saying the Commanders are going to be contending for the division. Somebody put them in second place and said they would be contending for the division. I mean, I'm not trying to, pat my own back or anything, you know what I'm saying? But somebody said that. It's a matter of seeing the talent, understanding how it works. The Commanders, they have deficiencies, but they found ways to cover up those deficiencies and still be good enough on defense. You have a good young quarterback that uses his legs, throws as well, and he's doing the one thing that's always been a knock. And Couch Coach could justify this. He's not taking the hits. He's being smart. He's getting down or he's getting out of bounds. That's the biggest critique from him coming out of college. And other than that, this man was, to me, the best quarterback. Still is the best quarterback in the draft. There's some other guys that are coming along, but this is the guy right now. And once you get that pedestal, as long as you don't do anything and get knocked off, you kind of stay there. So the Commanders, I think, are in a really good position in the division as well as in the NFC, and they will be a playoff team. Said that before the season started, sticking to it. All right, y'all. On to the next one. All right, so in order of play, the next one is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. They suffered a 24-30 loss to the San Francisco 49ers. We don't have our Cowboys rep on with us tonight, and it's okay. Sometimes it happens, life happens, and sometimes you lose bad and you don't want to come talk about it. Things happen. So I'm going to just simply say, I'll let y'all talk about the game and what happened. I'm going to just go like this. The Dallas Cowboys have not beat the San Francisco 49ers in years. I thought it would be close because the 49ers have a lot of injuries. The Cowboys have injuries, but the 49ers own the Dallas Cowboys. When you play a team that owns you, one or two things happen. You either do what Philly did and you go out and you get the win, or you keep losing. And Dallas keeps losing to the 49ers. If you're a 49ers player, you play in Dallas, you feel like you're going to win the game. If you're a 49ers fan and you're watching them play Dallas, you feel like you're going to win the game. That's because Dallas has not found a way to beat this team in a long time. Until that changes, there's no surprise when the 49ers beat the Cowboys. Scroll up the couch, whoever want to go ahead, and whoever else want to go can go last.
I'll go. It's interesting you brought up that point because looking at the Thursday night game, I thought along the similar line path, right? Real quick on that, the Texans right now cannot beat the Jets for whatever reason. Like it happened last year, they had a bad loss against them. And something told me like, yo, Jets gonna win this game because one, that's how the Jets do. They win games they're supposed to lose, and lose games they're supposed to win. But just something about that matchup. C.J. Stroud has struggled against that defense. This is now 2 years in a row, and back to the Cowboys. For whatever reason, Dak struggles against the Niners defense. I don't think they did anything that they're not doing anything special, quote unquote. But however they're running their defense, he struggles. Cowboys still lack the weapons because your best receiver is CeeDee Lamb. He puts up numbers like a number one, but he really a number two at best. You ain't got no one else. You can't run the ball. So Dak ends up having to throw 30 plus times. We know what happens when he throws 30 plus times. Those picks. And then the Niners, the Niners offense, some reason, somehow, no matter who's in the lineup, they'll find a way to get some points. They had this this number 31 for the Guerrero, however you pronounce his name, 14 carries, 85 yards. Like they like certain teams just find a way to win against other teams, and certain teams find a way to lose. That this was the best chance the Cowboys had to beat the 49ers. Lord knows how long. I think it's going to be a long time. I don't think Dak's Dak might win one game against them in his career, but it's going to be one. It's going to be one of those records you look back and like, dang, Dak really couldn't get it done against the Niners. And a lot of quarterbacks have that one team they can't do it against. So it is what it is. It was fun to laugh at the Cowboys though, because always nice to see them lose. So, Couch, you can go. I'm good. I had to get that out.
Yeah, this is just another one where it's kind of in a sense kind of bizarre. Obviously, the Cowboys had this game, I think it was 7-3, and then obviously San Francisco went on a run. I think at one point it was 27-10, and it's just like when he said it kind of almost in a sense kind of reminded me almost like the Ravens game where that the Ravens jumped on it early and then Cowboys try to find a way to kind of kind of strike back at the end, but they just don't have enough to essentially when their backs against the wall in this type of situation, they don't have that wherewithal in a sense. Just from everything, like you said, the run game, I think Zeke had like 34 yards on like 10 carries. So that's another one where you don't have the running game, and and then because that could have been something that you kind of could have had, like not to kind of have revisionist history, but like this whole Derrick Henry situation. Just imagine if you would have had a lead like that, a 7-3 lead, and having a guy like a Derrick Henry or somebody or a running back that you can kind of help balance his offense, where you don't have to worry about Dak. And that's like you said, and to your point, Scrub, where he's playing from behind, so of course he's going to kind of go for broke situations, and obviously that's where you kind of see those 2 turnovers from Dak. So it's just like you said, it's just one of those where this team is just missing. They and we kind of figured this was going to be kind of those type of games that this is going to happen because obviously they really didn't improve in the offseason and in critical areas. And then like you said, this would have been the best opportunity to beat San Francisco. You almost pretty much you went against essentially a team that's decimated by injuries. I mean, so you look to yourself, like you said, this would have been a perfect opportunity to beat this team. And this is the one, those type of wins like this where, you could be fighting for a wild card spot potentially against this team because, who's to say, we're looking at like kind of what Seattle and Arizona's doing. They're kind of in that line, at somewhat of a 2-team race in there. And obviously San Francisco still has a legitimate shot to win the West, but these type of games that you need to win. So yeah, I think it's going to be a long year, as they all know, especially now at 3-4. Definitely not going to be a 12-5 team this year. So it's going to be a little different in Dallas this year.
I don't disagree. All right, and then we'll have our final game from the previous week that we'll discuss. Scrub's gonna probably have a couple of words in this one. Scrub, would you like to go first, or would you like to go last?
I'll go first this time. I know, surprising, right?
All right, it's gonna be 2-6 Giants with 18 points, lost to the Steelers, who are now 6-2, 26 points. All you, sir.
Here we go again with the Giants. The details, the blankety blank details. Penalties out the backside, most of it on the offense end. Illegal man downfield. illegal shift. How many times have we seen that from the Giants all year? I've seen it too many times. I'm tired. If I see one more, I want to go out on the field and start. But yeah, 5 and 15 on third down, they ain't gonna get it done. You gave up 4 sacks, and the 4 sacks came as the game got later, so ended up being way more crucial. One of those being a sack fumble. After you force a turnover yourself to get yourself a chance to tie it back up, they actually were able to run the ball, which was nice. Tyrone Tracy, 20 for $145 before he went out. He's in concussion protocol. I don't know what his status is for the game on Sunday. We can talk. We'll get to more on that later. But I mean, yeah, because without him, Devin Singletary, he had two carries for 11 yards. He's just a guy, a replacement level back. Daniel Jones for whatever. Anytime he has to pass over 30 times, bad things happen. Not to mention, he has an issue in high leverage situations. It's not that it's a secret, but for whatever reason, something bad always seems to happen. Whether it be him throwing the ball away when he has no business doing so, he missed the protection, sliding the tight end over, which led to the strip sack. Then you got the receivers still dropping passes. Defense, they got burnt on the back end. They didn't like what they saw from Banks. They benched him, and while all right, you got the technique and whatnot from the other guys, I guess you certainly didn't get the production because Russell Wilson got out the pocket, made some big plays. So this isn't good enough to win games. They're just not. I don't know what else to say except, season. Listen, Daniel Jones' era will be over soon enough. Like the monkey said when they cut off his tail, it won't be long now.
It's not too much to say to that. I'm gonna just add this: Pittsburgh looks pretty solid with Russell Wilson, but the 2 teams they beat are not teams where we're sitting there saying, "Man, these teams are really good teams." So we'll see on that end. As far as the Giants go, man, we know what it is. They need a new quarterback. They made a bad choice at the running back position. Um, and when you have young receivers, you have a quarterback who's not very good. I mean, long story short, they're in a bad situation, but they can compete in games. There's not a lot of teams that are going to go in there and just dog walk, right? They're going to compete in games, but winning games and competing is 2 different things. They need some more weapons. They need a better quarterback. Those are things that hopefully they will get, right? But until they do those things, they'll stay in games. They won't. Like I said, they won't be out there just getting dog walked and beat down like they're nobody. But they just have to be better overall. And I don't think that this team is prepared for that. It's going to take an off season with some really good, solid moves to make that happen. As far as this particular game goes, Scrubs pretty much said everything that needs to be said. I saw some drops by neighbors, right? I saw Robinson have opportunities where he was open, where he wasn't targeted. These things happen. But when they constantly happen, it's frustrating. And if you're a fan, it's frustrating, right? You get a guy, a running back that starts to run with the ball well, then what happens? He gets hurt. It's frustrating. There's no way you can say anything besides that's frustrating. It'd be frustrating for anybody. But we all have down times. The Giants are in one now. That's really all I can say about the Giants. On you, Couch.
All right. Yeah, and it's another game where in almost kind of a microcosm of kind of how the Giants season has been, where you think to yourself, man, if you had like a better quarterback, you can win these games. And I think that's what's going to be kind of when you look at this team in its totality thus far. Man, if you had a quarterback that didn't turn the football over, was able to be more efficient, this team would win. This team would be but would have a winning record. I think that's what it ultimately boils down to. Obviously, Tyrone Tracy, he's doing his thing. I think we had 145 yards last week. He's continued to be kind of what the bright spot for this Giants team. And like you said, the drops, the mistakes, and obviously you have the youth at the wide receiver position. And it's just one of those things where, you're going against essentially like a veteran-esque type of team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, and still the fact that, hey, you still were able in position to win that football game. But it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, it's even, there's no such thing as morale, a morale type of boost for a loss like that. But hey, just let you know, hey, once you get the quarterback cleaned up, I think that's going to be that could be the deciding factor. So it's just one of those where they're not the easy out as many people would suggest. And we'll talk about the matchup momentarily. But yeah, I mean, give them now while they're down, because I think once they get the quarterback,
the rest of the teams are strong.
Kick them while they down.
The quarterback makes a difference, and they don't have that. And there's another team in the division that probably is going to wish they didn't have who they have, but it is what it is. But brighter days, man. Brighter days, Corey. Brighter days. We've all had down times. Got to have the down times. They had the up times. That's how you appreciate them. All right, guys. So we'll switch over to question. Very simple question. We got the trade deadline coming up, November the 5th, I believe. So in 4 days. So we're going to have some games this weekend. I don't think we're going to have any moves before the games. But the last few days after the games, I think there might be some movement. Is there anything that you would like for your team? Scrub, you're lower on the division than us, so you'll go first.
Short of trading Daniel Jones, I wouldn't even trade. I'll just give away. But let me be serious. The Giants, they had to be sellers. You got to get something back because you got players that are about to be free agents. You might as well get something back for them. Deadline's 4:00 Tuesday. I would trade Azeez Ojulari and Darius Slayton. Try to get some whatever pick you can get back for next year's draft. You're not winning this division. You're not going to be in a spot to get a wild card spot. So just try to get some stuff back. I know they're playing. Listen, we tried last year, sticking with guys that were going to be free agents. It didn't go. It wasn't good enough. Then Xavier McKinney walked. Saquon walked. We got nothing back for them. Let's get something back. I don't care. I don't care if this at this point this is even just some. We could get more than a 7th-round pick for at least Ojulari, but I don't want to see another offseason where we're not bringing guys back and we're not getting some picks. That's really it. There could be some other guys too that could go, but just get some picks back for next year.
I'll go ahead and go. I think defensive tackle, edge rusher will be the main place that I would look for the Philadelphia Eagles. As far as guys, I wouldn't mind going back the other way. There's a couple particular guys in mind. James Bradbury, would not mind seeing you go. Avonte Maddox, you also can hit the long road. And Darius Slay, you're a little bit further along in your career. You're a little bit more grizzled. We appreciate what you've done, but if we could throw you in a trade too and get back some edge rushers or defensive tackle, but a stronger one for the rotation, yeah, I'd make those moves. But I think secondary-wise, we're pretty set. Linebacker, we're looking pretty strong. If you wanted to bring in somebody who was more of a hybrid that could play a little linebacker and a little safety, protect against injuries, things like that, I'm down with that. But there's not a lot that I think the Eagles need because of the youth that has stepped up. Now, if the youth hadn't stepped up, there'd be a couple more people I'd probably be talking about. But I feel like that's really all that we need at this time right now. And then, injuries could change every day in the game this weekend. On you, Couch Coach.
All right, and it's funny. It's funny how a difference a year makes. Obviously, if we, when we were here this time last year, we would definitely sellers. We were the ones. I always equate the trade deadline almost like a yard sale. We were the ones that were setting up the tables. At Friday night going to a 6 a.m. yard sale last year with with Chase and Montez. This year, I think we are going to be buyers. We'll be the ones lining up with our money, draft picks potentially at said yard sales. And I think the beauty about this administration, Adam Peters and Josh Harris, they make you really think, okay, it's need versus want. Don't necessarily go for the Daniel Snyder sexy name type name, how we've gone in the past. More so, like I look at the hiring of Dan Quinn was like, because I wanted Ben Johnson. So Ben Johnson was the PlayStation 5, but Dan Quinn was the winter coat. Because obviously, if you live in the Mid Atlantic or the Northeast, it gets cold. So you need a cold coat more than a game system. And I think. And there's three guys I like. They're not the sexiest names in a sense, but I think they could be they're young. I look at they still can be a part of our fabric of this organization going forward. Not necessarily they'll be like, have a C on their chest potentially, but there'll be guys that'll be be woven into our fabric of the Washington Commanders as the future. I think number one, Greg Newsome. I think you look at what he can do. He's very versatile. So you look at, he can defend outside. And also, I think he'd be good as far as defending the slot receivers, obviously, especially in this division where you got a tons of good wide receivers in this division, especially as our season progressed. You have to have, you're going to have those guys. I mean, we play Philly in 2 weeks. Hell, we play you got, it want to affect this game on Sunday. But we got, Pittsburgh, Dallas. We got teams that have wide receiver heavy depth. So having a Greg Newsome kind of be in there as well. For the wide receiver I think this guy could fit in our scheme, and I think he could definitely add depth. Tutu Atwell from the Rams. I think with him, I think he'll be a nice combination that we need. Something back, especially for a speedster. I think he'll be someone that Jaden Daniels can kind of. He's a little versatile. He can throw it. He can have that speed play, and also he can have some opportunity that can open underneath for Tutu. So I definitely look at that. And then I think Harold Landry III. This is probably more so of. I got like 5 gloves, like 2 or 3 gloves, but I need an extra set in the event if something happened, if it tears, whatever. So, Harold Landry, I think, a lot of people had the concerns that he is, with the ACL last year and what have you. Still 45.5 sacks. I definitely think he could potentially add depth to that D line, the edge, where obviously guys been in and out of that lineup. You look at like Cleveland Farrell's been out a couple games. Dorrance Armstrong, he's been out as well. So you just look at these guys, and if you think about these guys, they are still young. So it's not they can have an impact on this team next year, and this year currently, and then going forward. So it's not like the old where, hey, let's get a 35, 37-year-old guy that's in the twilight of his career and pay him big money. I think these could be efficient guys that could be here to help this team in 2024, and I think going in the future as well, because these guys, I think the oldest probably is Harold Landry. I think he's 25, 26. So no, he's probably 20. I think he's in his late 20s. But in either or, these still are young guys. I think they can make impact today and for the future.
I dig it, man. I dig it. Couch Coach, like, I'm ready. I tell you the players and everything. I ain't mad at that though.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. It's been interesting half of the season, right? So next week, the thing we'll be talking about is, mid-season, how our teams are looking, how we feel about it, all this good stuff. Once we pass the trade deadline and we know who's going to be where. So stay tuned for that next week, good people. Now, y'all know where we got to go next. There's only one place left, and that's going to be talking these games for the NFC Beast for this coming week. So, November the 3rd, 2024. Can y'all believe we already in week 9? It just don't even feel right to say, but we in week 9 of the NFL season.
No, this is crazy.
It's November already, dog. That's
crazy. It's November. Like, crazy. Halfway the season, almost halfway over. I remember week 1 like it was like a week ago. Man, it's flying.
Last week.
Right.
Pushing through, y'all. I got that season. Yeah, I got that season changing. Allergies bother me a little bit, but hey, gotta push on through.
Yep.
All right. So 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. 3 and 4 Dallas Cowboys at 5 and 3 Falcons. I'll make my pick simple. Falcons. Couch coach, who you got?
The Falcons.
1 o'clock Cousins and the Falcons.
I feel it. Real talk. It ain't that hard of a thing to talk about, really. All right. Also at 1 p.m. 6 and 2 Commanders at the 2 and 6 Giants. I'm gonna go first, and then I'll let y'all decide who's gonna go second, who wanna go last. I'm gonna say Commanders. Giants got a lot of work to do, but they'll make it an entertaining game. And you never know, they could slide one out, but I'm gonna go with the Commanders.
You want to go, Couch? Or should I?
You know what?
Well, you're the host. You're the host of set matchup, so you go first, Scrub.
All right. Well, no life stadium. Worst field in the NFL. Listen, ain't no life for either team that play in that stadium. So I got the Commanders. I think it's going to be an ugly game in the sense that the Giants are going to. Well, you know what? Yeah, the Giants are going to get blown out. This will be the end of the Daniel Jones era as we know it.
Yeah, I'm going to give it. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, you good. Because, listen, I mean, the Giants, they've been in every game, yeah. But they have been awful at home. I think the strategy at home's been sorry, to be kind. Your coaching decisions hasn't been good. Your players haven't played well. Your quarterback plays worse than a pumpkin. I can't trust this team. They don't do enough things well. Even if they get the pressure, all right, they'll get the pressure, but then that back end's going to give it up. They don't do well against mobile quarterbacks. You saw the struggles again with the run game. They did a better job in the second half against the Steelers, but I mean, it's just these little things that they don't do throughout the entire course of the game. And at home, it just gets even worse. The crowd's probably going to turn against them. And I will be cheering Danny Holdy L. Jones like I did Monday night after the damn pick. And hopefully we will move on from this. And we can have something to look forward to. Well, actually, I do have something to look forward to. It's laughing at the Giants. Well, who am I kidding? Because that's what I'll do. So, it's all yours, Couch Coach. Have fun with this team you're playing.
Yeah. And I have the Commanders win this football game. I'm just really curious how this team will play. Obviously, will it be, I always feel as though like this game, especially dating back to the week 2 matchup where essentially, those five red zone possessions that pretty much ended in like false starts and that led to, obviously Cyber kicking 7 field goals to win the game. And then obviously after that, that's when everything kind of clicked, and you had the almost 2 games without a punch. So that was kind of the springboard, and now kind of fast forward. How do you come off that emotion of the Hail Mary? Do you kind of still have that in the back of your mind? And I know I don't necessarily don't understand, don't know the tenor of the week this week, but I know like against Carolina, it was business as usual. I mean, considering the fact you beat the team 40-7, it was still business as usual, and obviously that kind of in a sense led to potentially this game against the Bears. But yeah, we're really going to see what this team is all about, and it'll be and this is going to be a difficult stretch for the Commanders. The beginning of it, obviously, when we can say, hey, yeah, this is the Giants team is a 2-16. They're a wounded animal in the street, but I still don't want to face a wounded animal in the street because they're just as dangerous as a one that's healthy with no scratches, with no dents. So it's still an NFC East. Hey. We can have, all different types of stats. Oh, yeah, just that third. You know what? Clean slate. This Giants team still is still a legitimate team. They're still grown men. They still, got bills to pay. They got families to feed. And Washington, we're gonna figure out what this Washington team is all about. I mean, so I expected the Commanders will win this football game. I look at this team as a very disciplined football team and a team that is very special and a team of destiny. So they got to take care of business in New Jersey. And come on back home with a dub and start this rough November stretch with a W.
All right. Well, last matchup, y'all. We have 3. It just goes a little bit faster. But the last matchup here, we got the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The game was moved from 8:20 to 4:25 for the Colts game. That's right, the Colts. The Colts. The Eagles and Jags got moved so that the Colts can play the Vikings. We had the same amount of wins as the Vikings. Granted, the Jaguars suck, and that's the problem. But it's not our fault that the Jaguars suck. Not at all. But I'm going to go last. So, Scrub, we'll start with you, then Couch Coach, and then I'll finish things off.
Real quick before I talk about the game that they should, if they're going to flex you out, they should have just put the Packers in line since the night game. Because that would have been more worth our time than the damn Colts. Like, the Vikings are worth it, but I don't. And that's not here nor there. I got the Eagles winning. Talk about, obviously, Jaguars are also a wounded animal. There's a lot of things they're not doing well. They're still an NFL team, yada, yada, yada. Look, but one team's rolling and playing good football. The other team's stuck with Eli Manning 2.5 and Trevor Lawrence, who and his team is not playing good football. Supposedly, Etienne, I think they expected him back this week, hopefully. So he'll help, but he has a propensity to put the ball on the ground too. And the Jags haven't really. They're not doing a lot of things well. They're a bad football team. I think it's going to show on Sunday. I think the Eagles are going to get off to they'll find a rhythm early. Maybe not first quarter because we had another game of the Eagles not scoring in the first quarter, but by the fourth quarter, we'll be like, man, it's good to be an Eagles fan. It's good to be an Eagles player. Sucks to be the other team. So that's it. That's all I got. You can go, Couch Coach. I'm good.
Well, I guess America wanted to see Joe Flacco at the dog. So potentially in that matchup. So probably that's maybe why. But yeah, I think this is another team, like as far as Philly, they're rolling. Obviously, they're another people, they kind of flying under the radar. This is definitely a win for the Eagles. And I think, like I said, Jacksonville, I think they have just both of these teams are going in different directions. I know everybody would have loved the storyline that Doug Peterson comes home to Philly almost early, similar when Big Red came to Philly back in 2013. But that's not the case here, So even though Dougie P won a Super Bowl with you guys, but it's a different feel in this game, and I think it's just almost to a point where we're one step closer for Dougie P being home for Christmas. I got the Eagles.
This man said Dougie P home for Christmas. That's factual crazy work, because that could actually happen.
For real.
I think it'll be interesting to have Dougie P back in Philly. Best storyline for sure this week. Don't really, they moved, they did what they did. I'm gonna complain about it because losing a night game, kind of, let's be real. When you're planning all off season, right? You're planning everything you're gonna play at 8:25. That's a game that me and the squad could have got up and actually called the game ourselves and all that, because everybody would have been available to do that. So we lose that opportunity so we can see the Colts and the Vikings. But, gotta get past that because game is game. The thing I do like about it is a lot of times when you flex a team out, they're like, oh, you flexing us out? So you basically saying we ain't even important enough for you to care about and for you to even watch us play. Because you just flexing us out like we don't even matter. That's cool. Hopefully, that's a motivational tool for the Philadelphia Eagles. And hopefully we're going to use that to bust some guts. No Diddy. Sunday. You know what I'm saying? What I would like to see from this game is I'd like to see us just go out and execute every phase of the game. Do like last week. Don't worry about who the receiver is. Throw the ball. Get the ball out quick. Make plays. You can take a couple of shots down the field, but let's work the intermediate game. Let's work the outs. If you get a good screen set up with the right people in front, let's work a screenplay, right? Involve everyone. Run the ball heavy. Let's keep Hurts to around 20-25 throws, right? Let's play turnover-free football. Defense, let's turn Trevor Lawrence over. Let's get in his face. Let's make him work. Let's make him always be aware that we right there, breathing down his throat, his neck. Pause. Breathing down his neck. And execute, right? Use the proper game plan. Ensure that we're baiting him on defense. We're looking at what the other teams have done to be successful and copying that, right? Nick Sirianni, I need you to step away and allow your coordinators to do their job. If you want to say, hey, I want to go for it on fourth, let's tush push it or whatever, that's cool. But I don't need you really trying to override too many plays. Everybody knows about my thoughts about Sirianni. I've said he can be a capable coach if he learns how to sit back and let his coordinators do their job and just be quiet sometimes. Be the hype man, be the guy in the locker room, be the guy that rah-rah, but let those guys do the X's and O's. That's what they're there for. This should be a game that the Philadelphia Eagles come out and dominate. But whenever I think about the Eagles, I always say there's not a lot of dominate games. So I'll put it like this. This is a game the Eagles should win. You should win handily, but I'll take a win, right? If it's a 3-point win, a 7-point win, a 10-point win, a 5-point win, a 2-point win, I'll take it. But this is a good opportunity to really get out and dominate, put up some good stats for people, and just have some fun playing a game of football and not worry about the stress. Just have some fun, execute, and this should be a good, solid win for the Philadelphia Eagles. So definitely picking the Eagles. I think it's going to be a fun week across the NFL. Make sure you're paying attention to the NFC Beast because, again, win, lose, or draw. Only one. And I repeat that. Only one division has the entirety of the division that has hoisted a Lombardi trophy. That's the NFC East. Until you can get like us, you can't be with the Beast. You're just a puppy. You a flea. Understand that. If you don't like it, if you don't like it, argue with somebody else. Don't argue with us because we don't care. Couch Coach, Scrub, any final words before we get up out of here?
Value some possessions, you blue bums, please.
Okay. Couch coach, anything?
I'm just enjoying all this year. As you know, lifelong Commanders fan, I'm just going to enjoy it. I let all the haters hate, but I'm sitting in first place yet again, and I'm enjoying it. It is my turn, and I'm taking full advantage of it.
Oh, by the way, I will have a different name next week if the Giants do exactly what I expect them to do. So don't worry.
All right. Sounds devious, but hey.
Interested.
We'll see. Also, man, thank everybody who's watching. Of course, you know, show is recorded. So we love the comments. Every once in a while, you can catch one of the squad may be able to hop in the comments and respond with you, but keep them coming. Shout out BS3 Network. You know, see us on there. Shout out all the other wonderful channels, including Eagles Elite, where you can also watch this show and all of the other programming options that are available from the gentleman you see before you. For me, you just go right here. Everything I do right now. I'm not gonna take the time to talk about all of it. The Couch Coach be doing this thing at Couch Coach Live. Find it. There's a lot of good information. Hey, Scrub be popping up on places too. You know what I'm saying? He be trying to play it low key. I be seeing him popping up. I'm like, oh, there goes Scrub again.
He be on CCL.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I seen him on CCL a few times too. I ain't got no invite myself yet, but we play each other soon. So you know, maybe I'll get an invite.
2 weeks.
You never know. My from another mother. You never know. He might invite me. He might not. We'll see how
that's the first place after all.
Pretty much. All right. Make sure you tell 4 people that you know that you think are your friends and 4 people that may not like you to come and check us out. Just because they don't like you does not mean that they will not enjoy this wonderful programming. All right. And it's never where you start. It is always where you finish. And with that being said, NFC Beast is out. In the words of DJ Khaled, we the best.